So this one's a bit of a spicy one. So recently, over this weekend, Chinese President Xi Jinping warned against foreign interference in Taiwan, stating that China isn't against using force. So in a speech made on Sunday, October 16th, the Chinese president said that China reserves the option of taking all measures necessary against interference by outside forces on the issue of Taiwan. This message came at the opening ceremony of the ruling Communist Party of China's 20th National Congress, which is held once every 5 years. So, to give a little bit of backstory on this, tensions around Taiwan have intensified severely this summer, mainly due to United States House Speaker Nancy Pelosi deciding to go visit Taiwan to quote unquote stand with democracies against autocratic countries, which is basically showing that the U.S. is backing Taiwan wanting to be independent from China. Taiwan has been independently governed since 1949, but China's Beijing claims that territory as their own, falsely. So China had repeatedly voiced their opposition against Pelosi making that trip to Taiwan, but the U.S. officials basically just kind of ignored it. So a ministry spokesperson from China said in a statement that the move from Pelosi constitutes a gross interference in China's internal affairs. It gravely undermines China's sovereignty and territorial integrity, seriously tramples on the One China principle, and severely threatens peace and stability across Taiwan. So, in response to Pelosi seemingly provoking China, they decided to put sanctions on her and her entire immediate family members. Political analysts had warned Pelosi that this visit could cause more strains between the U.S. and China's relationships, and it did exactly that. Also, notes in a phone call prior to this trip, Chinese President Xi Jinping told Joe Biden to quote unquote not play with fire regarding Taiwan. So, fast forwarding back to Sunday's speech, the Chinese president called for his country to strengthen its military power as they tighten their hold on Hong Kong and take a more aggressive stance towards Taiwan. He also declared that China will, quote unquote, strive faster to modernize military theory, organizational structures, personnel, and weaponry and equipment. He mentioned that in order to safeguard China's interest in sovereignty, security, and development, they will strengthen the military's strategic capabilities and ensure that the People's Armed Forces successfully carry out their missions and tasks. Jinping is expected to be granted a third term as China's President and General Secretary of Congress. So, going back to Pelosi's trip, the Chinese military immediately responded by increasing their military activities in the waters surrounding Taiwan, which in theory placed Beijing, who claims Taiwan as their territory, closer to an invasion. China flooded the area with fighter jets and naval boats while also firing missiles into the surrounding waters of the island. Meanwhile, during a news conference in Taipei, Taiwan's Foreign Minister Joseph Wu claimed that the increased military presence was a part of China's quote unquote playbook for the invasion of Taiwan. So, some defense analysts were concerned that Taiwan and its allies might find it difficult to anticipate when an invasion might occur due to China's persistent military presence near the island. The Chinese leaders seem to only respect power, which means peace can only be secured through strength. So Taiwan has been calling upon the U.S. and its allies to help assist them in their defenses against China. Taiwan also announced that it will be increasing its defense budget to over $19 billion for the year 2023, which is almost a 14% increase from last year. So basically, in summary, just this past weekend, Chinese President Xi Jinping announced that China will be taking a more aggressive position against Taiwan. And he also warned all outside forces to not get involved, as they are not opposed to using whatever necessary force they have to. This message seemed to be directed directly to the United States, considering that Nancy Pelosi, which is a United States House Speaker, made a visit to Taiwan a few months ago after being warned not to. China has been known to use psychological warfare for years, so who knows if any of this will actually amount to any real actions. But they have been giving off a lot of strong warning signals to the rest of the world. China, however, is also currently dealing with a massive real estate issue and the virus still, which is both damaging their economy significantly. So going to war doesn't sound like the best option for them. However, though, Taiwan is home to TSM, which is Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing. And we are kind of in a global shortage of chips and semiconductor chips. So China taking that over would give them a lot more leverage and resources, considering that big names such as Apple, Nvidia, AMD, and I mean the list can go on. They all rely on TSM for that type of technology. So China having a leverage there could put them in a higher seat, sort of say, in a game of chess. But that's pretty much what happened over this weekend. It seems with this upcoming term that the president of China is going to be elected into, he's sending the world a message based on how he feels with the current state of Taiwan and the United States relations. Is it bluffing? Is it not? No one really knows. But it's probably better to be safe than sorry. But that's pretty much it, though. I hope you did enjoy. Go ahead and leave me a comment if you have any, opinions regarding the situation or facts. I would love to read that. And also be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more.